My name is Donna Mae Harrison. I have been working as a cardiac nurse at St. Mary's Hospital in Portland, Oregon, for 23 years. I have heard the stories of thousands of patients, heart attacks, strokes, and accidents, but nothing, no event, shook me as much as Mrs. Loretta June Caldwell's case. It was 2:47 a.m. that night. As ambulance sirens echoed down the hallway, paramedics wheeled an 85-year-old woman in on a stretcher. She complained of chest pain, shortness of breath, and sweating. She had classic heart attack symptoms. We immediately initiated the intervention protocol. But what really caught my attention were the woman's eyes. She was in pain. But there was something else in her eyes, not fear or anger. There was a cold, calculated anger. Her grandson, who had come with her, was a young man in his late 20s, wearing expensive sneakers, busy on his phone. His name was Cody Brett Caldwell. While the paramedics were transferring Mrs. Caldwell from the stretcher to the emergency room bed, Cody was talking on the phone with a friend in the hallway. Grandma's being dramatic again. I had to come to the hospital, yes. The paperwork was supposed to be done today, but here we are. He wasn't speaking in an anxious tone. He seemed quite calm. When I entered the room, I was putting an oxygen mask on Mrs. Caldwell. We had given her morphine, but she was still conscious. Her eyes followed me. Then she moved her lips. I lifted the mask an inch. "Mr. Whiskers." "Calm down, Mrs. Caldwell," I said. "We need to stabilize your heart rate now." Despite her age, she was speaking clearly. "My cat is in danger. Save him. My grandson promised me. But he didn't keep his promise." Just then, Cody entered the room. He had a Starbucks coffee in his hand. He came over to his grandmother. "Grandma, you look good. You scared me." He spoke in a fake voice. He looked cool. Mrs. Caldwell closed her eyes. She didn't say anything. While I was checking her vitals, Cody turned to me. "Nurse, my grandmother has been acting a little strange lately. Could it be early dementia? She keeps talking about that cat. She acts like the cat is a person. She hasn't been evaluated for dementia yet. Right now, we're focused on stabilizing her heart attack." Cody chuckled softly. "Sure, you know, old people sometimes get their priorities mixed up." I watched Mrs. Caldwell throughout the night. Her heart rate had stabilized, but she wasn't falling asleep. Her eyes were fixed on the ceiling. She was thinking constantly. Around 4:30 a.m., when I went to her side, she reached out her hand. She grabbed my wrist. She held it with surprising strength. "Nurse, I need to tell you something. But first, I am going to give you a phone number. Write it down." I took out my cell phone. She gave me a number. "This is Dr. Patricia Marino. She is my vet. Ask her where Mr. Whiskers is. Mrs. Caldwell, your cat. Please, just call. Then I'll tell you everything." When I took my break, I called the number. It was 5 in the morning, but there was no answer. When the morning shift started, I called the clinic at 8 a.m. The receptionist answered the phone. "Hello, I am calling from St. Mary's Hospital. I'd like to talk about Mrs. Loretta Caldwell's cat, Mr. Whiskers." "Yes, Mr. Whiskers is here. He is staying at our boarding facility. Mrs. Caldwell brought him in 3 weeks ago. She paid for a month. Everything is fine. Her cat is doing very well. Don't worry. My heart started racing 3 weeks ago." Yes, Mrs. Caldwell left very detailed instructions. Special food, playtimes, sitting by the window. She explained everything. She is a very sweet woman. I hung up the phone. I quickly walked to Mrs. Caldwell's room. Cody wasn't there. The woman opened her eyes and smiled slightly when she saw me. "You called, didn't you?" "Yes," I said. "Your cat is safe, but why did you need to tell me this?" Mrs. Caldwell took a deep breath. "Because my grandson Cody has been blackmailing me for 2 days, he says. If you don't transfer your house to me, I'll give your cat to the shelter. Last night he threatened me to sign the papers. He hid my medication." At that moment, I didn't know what to do. What I heard shocked me. "Did he hide your cardiac medication?" She nodded. "Digoxin. He didn't give me my morning dose. He didn't give me my afternoon dose. In the evening, my chest started to tighten. That is when he came to me. He brought a document. 'Sign it, or tomorrow I am taking Mr. Whiskers to the shelter,' he said. I didn't sign it. Then I got sick. I came here." "This is attempted murder," I said. My voice was shaking. That morning, Mrs. Caldwell told me everything from the beginning, and I realized that this was not just a case of a heart attack. This was a robbery planned for years, and the victim had quietly set her own trap. Mrs. Caldwell sat up in bed and began to tell her story. "I was born Loretta June Baker," she said. She was no longer a sick woman, but a storyteller. 1939, Tulsa, Oklahoma. My father worked in the oil fields. My mother was a seamstress. We were a poor but honest family. I married Harold Caldwell when I was 18. He was an accountant, a smart man. He always told me, "Loretta, money comes and goes, but never be dependent on anyone." Harold and I were married for 52 years. We had 3 children, Daniel, Susan, and Michael. Harold died of a heart attack in 2011. He left me $340,000 in life insurance. We had a house. We had no debt. We lived in Laurelhurst, a beautiful neighborhood in Portland. We had a 2-story house with a yard and a white picket fence. We bought that house in 1978 for $62,000. Now it is worth around $890,000. I took very good care of my children. I sent them all to college. Daniel became a lawyer. Susan became a teacher. Michael was a bit different. He never really stuck with a job. He got married 3 times. He got divorced 3 times. And his son Cody never turned out to be a good kid when Cody was born in 1997. I was a grandmother. I loved that baby. He was such a sweet child. But when Michael and his wife divorced, Cody was only 7. The child was constantly going back and forth between 2 homes. At 15, he got caught by the police for the first time. He had shoplifted. Michael called me, "Mom, Cody needs a lawyer. They want $2,500. I gave him the money. Then he went to college. Cody enrolled at Portland State. He dropped out after 2 years. "Mom, I have a great idea. I need $15,000. I gave it to him. Then he got into a car accident. "Mom, the insurance won't cover it. I need $8,000. I gave him that money again. Over the years, I did the math. I gave Cody a total of $67,000. He never once said thank you. Mrs. Caldwell paused. She drank some water. She continued her story. 5 years ago, after my husband died, I felt very lonely. All my children were living their own lives. I was living alone in the house. One day, I went to the Humane Society, and I saw Mr. Whiskers, an orange and white cat. He was 9 years old. Nobody wanted him, because he was an old cat, but I took him. Since that day, he has been my everything. He would have breakfast with me every morning. He would sleep on my lap in the evenings. He never left my side when I was sick. Last March, Michael died of liver disease. He drank too much alcohol. At his funeral, Cody came up to me. "Grandma, it is just the 2 of us now. I'll take care of you." I was very moved. In May, Cody moved in with me. "Grandma, rents are so expensive. Can I stay for a few months?" he asked. I agreed. He settled into the guest room upstairs. The first month was fine. He would go grocery shopping. He would take out the trash. But then he changed. He started bringing his friends home. There was a lot of noise in the house. There were beer cans everywhere. One night at 2 a.m., the music was so loud that the neighbors called the police. I told him, "Cody, this is my house. You follow the rules or you leave." That is when I saw that cold look in his eyes for the first time. "Grandma, you are 85 years old. You can't manage this big house on your own. You need me." "No, I am fine." "What about Mr. Whiskers? Who will take care of him if you fall?" My heart sank, but I didn't say anything. In August, Cody brought me a brochure. Sunset Gardens Senior Living Community, a luxury retirement home. "Grandma, look how beautiful it is. People your age live there, activities, nurses, and they even accept pets." "I love my house," I said. "But Grandma, the house is too big. You can't even climb the stairs. And financially, the maintenance costs and taxes are too much." "I pay my taxes," I said. He put the brochure on the table and said, "Think about it, because I don't want to be a burden to you. But if the house goes to me, I'll stay here and take care of you." At that moment, I understood everything. In September, I hired a lawyer. His name was Howard Berkowitz. I told him everything. Howard made a plan for me. "Mrs. Caldwell, we're going to transfer your house into a living trust, and we'll choose a charity as the beneficiary. The Portland Cat Shelter. That way, Cody can't get anything." But before I did that, I did one more thing. I took Mr. Whiskers to Dr. Moreno. "Patricia, I am boarding my cat for a month. I am giving you an extra $500. If someone named Cody comes to take Mr. Whiskers, call the police." Dr. Moreno was surprised, but agreed. Then I went home. I told Cody, Mr. Whiskers is gone. Cody didn't seem to care much that day, but 2 days later when I came back from my lawyer, I saw a document at home. Quitclaim deed, property transfer certificate. Cody had prepared it. He was waiting for my signature. Grandma, this is just a formality paper. That way, I can take care of the house too. The house will still be yours. No, I won't sign it. His face changed. Grandma, it is good for Mr. Whiskers, because if there is going to be a cat in the house, I need to be the homeowner. Otherwise, the insurance won't cover the cat. I knew he was lying, but I didn't say anything to him. The next morning, he gave me my medicine, but I noticed something. There was one tablet missing from the digoxin box. She didn't give it to me at noon either. Oh, Grandma, I forgot. I'll give it to you now, she said. But she didn't. In the evening, my chest started to tighten. I couldn't breathe. Cody came into the room holding the papers. Sign, or tomorrow I am taking Mr. Whiskers to the Humane Society. And you know what happens to old cats. My hands were shaking, but I didn't sign. Call an ambulance, I said. Her eyes widened. What are you talking about? Go call an ambulance, I yelled. My right arm was numb. Then she got scared because if I died there, the police would start an investigation. She called the ambulance. Then I came here. Mrs. Caldwell's eyes were filled with tears, but she wasn't crying. Donna Mae, Mr. Whiskers is safe, she said. My house has already been donated to the church. My lawyer, Howard, finalized the paperwork last week. Cody doesn't know, and now everyone will see his true face. She pressed a piece of paper into my hand. It had a phone number and a name on it. Howard Berkowitz, attorney at law. Donna Mae, Mrs. Caldwell said. Now I am going to tell you Cody's real plan, because this wasn't just a paperwork issue. It went much deeper than that. She looked out the window. Portland's foggy morning landscape was visible. It was the first week of October. Cody came home with 2 friends. One was named Tyler Sanderson, the other Brent Kowalski. Both were Cody's age. The 3 of them were talking about something on a laptop in the living room. I was making tea in the kitchen, but I heard everything. Tyler said, Bro, I looked it up on Zillow. This house is worth at least $850K. If you buy it and flip it right away, Cody laughed. No, we won't flip it. We're going to open a luxury Airbnb here. A house like this in Laurelhurst goes for $400 a night. That is $12,000 a month. That is $144,000 a year in passive income. Brent said, But doesn't your grandmother live here? Cody's voice changed. She has got a few years left at most. She is 85. And right now she is already a little confused. She is showing signs of dementia. Maybe we should put her somewhere. The glass slipped from my hand, but I caught myself. I didn't leave the kitchen, Tyler said. But how will you handle the paperwork? Simple. I'll get a power of attorney. Then I'll say medical necessity. I'll place her in assisted living for care. I'll manage the house. Legally, everything will be correct. Brent asked, What if your grandmother refuses? There was a long silence. She'll have to. I couldn't sleep that night. I thought about it until morning. Cody was my grandson. I had held him while changing his diapers. He had taken his first steps in my house, but now he saw me as an obstacle. Mrs. Caldwell's voice trembled, but she continued. The next day, Cody said to me at breakfast, Grandma, I have a proposal. I'll renovate this house. Let's put a bedroom on the ground floor. That way, you won't have to climb the stairs. But we'll need some money for that. Maybe we could take out a home equity loan? No, there is no mortgage on the house. It will stay that way. His face tensed. Grandma, this is for your own good. Old age is hard. You need to trust me. I trust you, Cody, but I make the decisions. That afternoon I went to the doctor, Dr. Samuel Roth, my family doctor. I told him everything. Samuel knew me very well. Loretta, you don't have dementia or anything like that. Let's do a cognitive test to make it official. He gave me the mini mental state examination. I scored 29 out of 30. He wrote me a document. Mrs. Loretta Caldwell is of sound mind and full cognitive capacity. No signs of dementia, Alzheimer's, or any impairment. Signed Dr. Samuel Roth, Maryland. I kept that document in a safe at home because I knew Cody would one day say my grandmother was sick. But now I had proof. Things got worse in November. Cody brought a woman home. Her name was Amberlynn Hughes. She was 24 years old. She wore makeup and had long nails. Cody introduced her as his girlfriend. "Grandma, Amber's going to stay with me. That is okay, right?" "Cody, this is my house. I didn't give permission." Amber chimed in. Wow, Cody was right. "Your grandma really is a tough lady." "Amber, be quiet," Cody said. Then he turned to me. "Grandma, I am helping you. I am not paying rent, but I am doing the grocery shopping. I am doing the repairs. You could be a little flexible." "No, Amber has to go." That evening, Cody and Amber argued loudly in the living room. Amber said, "Look, Cody, this woman is using you. You are living here for free. Buy the house for yourself." Cody said, "I am working on it. Everything has to be legal. I am working on it. Get a dementia report. Go to court. Get conservatorship. You'll have it sorted in 2 months. It is not that easy. My grandmother goes to the doctor. She gets tests done. She is a smart woman." Amber laughed. "Then there are other ways." When I heard that sentence, my heart stopped. What did that mean? The next day, Amber left, but she came back 2 weeks later, and this time they had a plan. It was the beginning of December. Cody said to me, "Grandma, let's have a family gathering at Christmas. Uncle Daniel, Aunt Susan. Everyone should come. We haven't seen each other in a long time." I was suspicious, but I said, "Okay." Daniel came from San Francisco. He is my eldest son, a lawyer, very successful, but a cold man. Susan came from Seattle, a teacher, kind-hearted but naive. On Christmas Eve, we all gathered around the table. I had cooked a duck. Everyone was eating and drinking. Then Cody stood up. "Family, I want to say something. Grandma Loretta has been struggling lately. She is experiencing memory loss. I live with her. I see it. Maybe we need to give her more support." Daniel raised his eyebrow. "What kind of support?" Cody pulled out a brochure. Sunset Gardens, a plus-rated assisted living facility. They take Medicare, and Grandma would be so much better off there. Susan was shocked. "Mom, is this what you want?" "No, I am happy in my home." Cody jumped right in. "But let's be objective. You left the stove on last week. The house could have burned down." He was lying. I never left the stove on. Daniel looked at me. "Mom, is this true?" "No, Cody is lying." Cody sighed dramatically. "See, Daniel, classic dementia symptom." Susan took my hand. "Mom, maybe you should see a doctor." "I went to the doctor," I said. My voice was rising. Dr. Roth gave me a cognitive test. The results were perfect. Cody laughed. "Grandma, Dr. Roth is 82. He is getting ready to retire. Maybe a younger doctor could see you." Daniel interjected. "Mom, maybe Cody's right. You are getting old. You can't manage this big house by yourself." "I've managed this house for 50 years, I yelled. I stood up. My hands were shaking. "And you are my children. Why do you believe Cody?" There was silence. Daniel looked at his plate. Susan looked away. Cody said softly, "Grandma, please sit down. This stress isn't good for your heart." At that moment, I understood. They had already made up their minds. My opinion didn't matter. I got up from the table and went to my room. I cried that night because my children didn't defend me. The next day, Daniel came to me. "Mom," he said, "I am going back to California, but Cody will take care of you. He is a good kid. Trust him." "Daniel, Cody is blackmailing me. He wants my house." Daniel shook his head. "Mom, you are being paranoid. Cody is just trying to help. Maybe you should consider therapy." Therapy. He was suggesting therapy to me. Susan left that same day, too. She hugged me. "Mom, take care of yourself. Don't be too hard on Cody. He loves you." They left, and I was alone with Cody. That night, Cody brought his friends Tyler and Brent home. They didn't know, but I was on the stairs upstairs. I could hear everything Tyler said. "Bro, did your uncle and aunt believe it?" Cody laughed. "Of course they believed it. I told them Grandma's confused, and they believed it right away, because nobody believes old people." Brent asked, "So what happens now?" "Now," said Cody, "I am going to get power of attorney, but if my grandmother won't sign, there are other ways." "Like what?" "Medical emergency. If my grandmother is hospitalized and the doctors deem her incapacitated, I can become her legal guardian." "Bro, you are so smart." "I am not," said Cody. "Just pragmatic." My heart started racing. I realized then Cody was waiting for me to get sick. Maybe he was even trying to make me sick. The next morning, Cody made me breakfast for the first time. "Grandma, I am sorry about yesterday. I didn't mean to upset you. I am just worried." I looked at the food. It smelled normal, but something made me suspicious. Thanks, Cody, but I don't eat breakfast in the morning. I just drink tea. His face fell. But I made this for you. I know, but I don't have an appetite. What I found in the kitchen that afternoon broke my heart. There was a box in the trash can, Ambien, Zolpidem 10 milligrams, a sleeping pill, a prescription, only medication. It wasn't in Cody's name, it was in Amber's name. Did he put it in the eggs, in the toast? I don't know, but if I had eaten it, I could have passed out, and then an ambulance, hospital, elderly woman, confusion, possible stroke. And Cody would apply for guardianship. That evening, when Cody came home, he emptied the trash can. There was no evidence. But I knew. In January last month, Cody finally dropped the mask. One morning, he came to me. Grandma, let's have a serious talk. I am here helping you, but I want something in return. Give me this house. Set up a living trust. Make me the beneficiary. You can live here for the rest of your life. But the house is mine. No, I said. Why? I'm your grandchild. Who takes care of you, Daniel, Susan? No, I take care of you. You don't take care of me, Cody, I said calmly. You use me, he slammed his hand on the table. Look, Grandma, I am talking nicely. But you don't understand. If you don't transfer this house to me, you'll regret it. Are you threatening me? No, I'm just telling you the facts. You are old. Accidents can happen. You could fall down the stairs, you could mix up your medications, and then the state decides. He left, and I sat there. That afternoon, I called my lawyer, Howard. Howard, I said, I want to donate my house to the church now, today. Loretta, Howard said, are you sure? This is an irreversible decision. I am sure, I said, because if I wait, it will be too late. Howard came that week. The papers were drawn up. Irrevocable Living Trust. Beneficiary. Portland Cat Shelter and Rescue. I signed. The notary certified it. It was done. My house was no longer mine. It belonged to the church, and Cody would never know. Not until I died. At the beginning of February, I took Mr. Whiskers to Dr. Marino. Cody wasn't home. Patricia, I said, I am leaving my cat at the boarding house for a month, but know this, if someone named Cody comes, don't give him my cat. Call the police. Dr. Moreno looked concerned. Loretta, is everything okay? No, but it will be. When I got home, Cody was waiting for me. Grandma, where is Mr. Whiskers? I don't know. He went out this morning and didn't come back. Cody looked suspicious. Cats don't disappear, Grandma. Old cats sometimes disappear, I said. At that moment, I saw something on Cody's face. Because if Mr. Whiskers was gone, he no longer had a weapon to threaten me with. 2 days later, Cody came home with that document. Quitclaim deed. Sign it, he said. Number, Grandma. I am going to find Mr. Whiskers, and if I find him, I am taking him to the shelter. You know what happens to old cats at the shelter, right? My eyes filled with tears, but I didn't sign. That night, Cody made me dinner. Grandma, eat something for your own good. I didn't eat because I didn't trust him anymore. And the next day, he started hiding my medicine. Mrs. Caldwell paused. Her eyes were teary, but her voice was firm. Donna Mae, Cody may not have tried to kill me, but he waited for me to die. And while he waited, he terrorized me. He starved me. He withheld my medication. Isn't that murder? I held her hand. Mrs. Caldwell, you are right. What are we going to do now? Then the door opened. Cody walked in. He had a Starbucks coffee and a fake smile. Grandma, you are getting better. Thank goodness. And I reached for my phone. When Cody entered the room, he wore a perfect mask of concern. He approached the bed. He placed his hand on Mrs. Caldwell's hand. Grandma, you scared me so much. When the ambulance came, I thought, his voice trembled. It was an Oscar-worthy performance. Mrs. Caldwell opened her eyes. She looked at her grandson. She didn't say anything. I pretended to be checking her vitals, but I was listening to every word. Cody continued. What did the doctors say? Is there anything serious with your heart? Heart attack. Her digoxin level was very low. She hadn't taken her medication. Cody turned to me immediately. What? But I remind her every day. Grandma, you took your medication, didn't you? Mrs. Caldwell spoke slowly. You didn't give it to me. What? Cody's voice rose. Grandma, I put the box next to her every morning. "No," said Mrs. Caldwell. "You were hiding the box." Cody turned to me. His face was bright red. "Nurse, do you see? Confusion. I am really worried. Maybe a neurologist consultation. Mr. Caldwell, your grandmother needs to rest right now. Maybe you could go get some coffee." Cody paused. Then he smiled. "I am just really worried." As he left, he looked at Mrs. Caldwell one last time. There was something in that look. After the door closed, Mrs. Caldwell whispered, "Donna Mae, he'll be back, and this time he'll try to finish it." "What do you mean?" "Cody knows. I exposed him. There is no turning back now. Either I win, or he wins." Mrs. Caldwell took a deep breath. She continued, "Donna Mae, I have to tell you about that day, that last day before the ambulance came, because that was the day Cody completely dropped his mask." Her eyes fixed on the ceiling. She remembered. "It was the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. I woke up at 9 in the morning. I had a slight ache in my chest. But I was used to that. That is what old age is like. Every day something hurts. I went downstairs. Cody was in the kitchen. He was making coffee. It was the first time he had ever gotten up so early. 'Good morning, Grandma,' he said. His voice sounded strange. He was speaking very calmly. 'Good morning, Cody.' 'I made you coffee,' he said. He handed me a cup. I looked at the cup. It was frothy. I usually drink black coffee, but this was like a latte. 'Thank you,' I said. 'Drink up, Grandma,' he said. He wasn't smiling anymore. 'I made it special for you.' I took the cup in my hand. I smelled it. It smelled like coffee, but there was something else. A faint, bitter smell. 'Cody, what did you put in this coffee?' 'I didn't put anything in it. It is just milk and sugar.' 'I don't use sugar.' 'I know, but today is Valentine's. It is a special day. Drink it.' My hand trembled. I put the cup down on the table. 'I won't drink it.' Cody's face changed. He was angry. 'Why do you have to make everything so difficult? Because you are trying to poison me.' There was silence, a long silence. Then Cody laughed. But his laugh was terrifying. 'Grandma, you really are losing your mind. Maybe I was right. Maybe you really do need a doctor.' I stood up. I tried to leave my room. Cody stood in front of me. 'Where are you going?' 'I am going to my room.' 'No, you are going to sit here. You are going to talk to me.' My heart was racing. I couldn't breathe. 'Cody, please get out of my way.' 'I won't,' he said. He pulled a piece of paper out of his pocket. It was a quitclaim deed. 'This is your last chance. Sign it.' 'Or what?' I said. My voice was hoarse. 'Are you going to kill me?' Cody moved closer. His face was very close to mine. 'I don't need to kill you, Grandma. You are already dying. You are 85 years old. You have heart disease. One day you'll fall, or you'll forget your medication, or a simple infection, and no one will question it.' The pain in my chest intensified. My left arm was going numb. 'But I can't wait, because you are a stubborn woman, and stubborn people get into accidents.' At that moment, I understood. He really was going to do it. He really was going to kill me. 'Cody, Mr. Whiskers, what about your cat?' 'He is already gone. He is probably dead.' 'No, he is safe. I am hiding him somewhere, and if anything happens to me, people will find out.' Cody frowned. 'Find out what?' I was having trouble breathing. 'Your plan's the Ambien. You hiding the drugs.' Cody stepped back. He was shocked. 'You have no proof,' he said. I said I did. I was bluffing, but I continued. 'The voice recordings, your conversations with Tyler and Brent. I have them all.' Cody's face went pale. 'You are lying.' At that moment, the pain in my chest exploded. It was as if someone was squeezing my heart. I fell to the floor. Cody stood over me. He was watching me, but he wasn't helping. 'Grandma, if you sign that document now, I'll call an ambulance.' I reached for the phone, but Cody kicked it. 'The phone hit the wall. Sign it,' he said. He put the document in front of me. He handed me a pen. My hand was shaking. I held the pen, but I didn't sign. Instead, I unscrewed the cap, and I wrote in capital letters on the document, 'Under duress, forced.' Cody took the document. He read it. His face turned bright red with anger. But then a sound came. The doorbell. Cody froze. 'Who is it?' The door rang again. Then a voice, 'Mrs. Caldwell, Portland Police, welfare check.' The police. Cody's eyes widened. He looked at me. 'Did you call the police?' I shook my head. 'Number I didn't call them. But someone had. The door rang again. "Mrs. Caldwell, please open the door." Cody shoved the papers into his pocket. He leaned toward me. "Don't say a word, or I'll find Mr. Whiskers." I couldn't breathe anymore. My chest was burning. Cody went to the door. He opened it. There were 2 police officers. One was a man, one was a woman. The man's name was Officer Derek Mills. The woman was Officer Rachel Nguyen. "Good morning," said Officer Mills. "We received a welfare check call from Mrs. Loretta Caldwell." Cody acted surprised. "Welfare check, but my grandmother is fine." At that moment, Officer Nguyen looked inside. She saw me on the floor. "Ma'am," she shouted. She ran to me. Officer Mills spoke into the radio. "Dispatch. We need an ambulance at 2847 Laurelhurst Drive, Ive. Elderly female, cardiac event, conscious, but in distress." Officer Moyen leaned over me. "Mrs. Caldwell, can you hear me?" I nodded. "What happened?" Cody interjected. "Officer, my grandmother fell. I was just about to call an ambulance." "Lie," I groaned. My voice wasn't coming out, but I made it. "He tried to kill me." Officer Nguyen turned to me. "Ma'am, what did you say?" "My grandson." I couldn't breathe. "The pills, he hid them." Cody jumped in immediately. "Officer, my grandmother is confused. Dementia. I give her her pills every day. But she forgets." "Shut up," Officer Mills said. He gave Cody a stern look. Then he turned to me. "Mrs. Caldwell, the ambulance is coming. Calm down." Just then, I felt something in my pocket, my cell phone. It wasn't broken. The screen was cracked, but it worked. I reached into my pocket. I took out the phone. I handed it to Officer Nguyen. The phone was recording. Officer Nguyen took the phone. He looked at the screen. The voice recorder app was open, and it was recording. Cody's face turned to ash. Officer Nguyen pressed play. Cody's voice came through the speaker. "You are already dying, Grandma. One day you'll fall or forget your pills, and no one will question it. Stubborn people get into accidents. Sign here." Officer Mills turned to Cody. "Sir, turn around and put your hands behind your back." "What?" "But now." Cody turned. Officer Mills cuffed him. "Cody Brett Caldwell, you are under arrest for elder abuse, attempted coercion, and assault. You have the right to remain silent." Ambulance sirens were approaching. I was lying on the ground. The pain was still there. But now there was something else. I had won. As Cody was led to the car, he looked back at me one last time. There was hatred in his eyes. "Grandma, you'll regret this. I am your grandchild. You owe me." Officer Nguyen closed the door. Then the paramedics arrived. They put me on a stretcher. They gave me oxygen. They started an IV. In the ambulance, Officer Nguyen came over to me. "Mrs. Caldwell," he said. "Did you make the call?" I shook my head. "Number then, who did?" I thought. Who knew? Then I remembered my neighbor. Mrs. Gladys Hoffman, 92 years old. She watched me from her window every morning. She would have known if something was wrong. Mrs. Caldwell fell silent. Tears streamed from her eyes. "Donna Mae," she said. "Gladys saved me. She looked out the window this morning. She heard Cody screaming. She called the police. If she hadn't called, I wouldn't be here right now." I squeezed her hand. "You are a strong woman, Mrs. Caldwell." I was just prepared. That night we admitted Mrs. Caldwell to intensive care. Her heart condition had stabilized, but we needed to monitor her. Around 11 p.m., I was sitting in her room. I was checking her vitals. Suddenly, Mrs. Caldwell spoke. "Donna Mae." "Yes, a lawyer is coming tomorrow. His name is Howard Berkowitz. I am going to tell him everything, and I am going to take legal action against Cody. You should. But there is one more thing. I want to tell my children, Daniel and Susan. They should know. You can call them tomorrow, too." Mrs. Caldwell shook her head. "Number, I don't want to see them because they didn't believe me. They didn't defend me. They defended Cody. Maybe I was a bad mother. Maybe I didn't show my children enough love. Maybe that is why they turned out this way. No, you are a good mother. They're just so caught up in their own lives that they forgot about yours." Mrs. Caldwell smiled. A bitter smile. "When people get old, they become invisible. No one listens. No one believes. Because you are old, you must be confused. You must be forgetful. But I never forgot." The door opened. The night shift nurse came in, time for vital signs. As I was leaving the room, Mrs. Caldwell said one last thing. "Thank you, Donna Mae. You believed in me." I smiled. Always. And that night, as I drove home, I thought, how many Lorettas are there in the world? How many elderly people are silently exploited by their families? And how many of them dare to speak up? Answer, very few. But Loretta June Caldwell was one. When I arrived for the morning shift, Mrs. Caldwell was awake. She was sitting up in bed. She had a cup of tea in her hand. For the first time, I saw a genuine smile on her face. "Good morning, Mrs. Caldwell. How are you feeling?" "I am very well for the first time in a long time. I feel at peace." I checked her vitals. Heart rate normal, blood pressure stable. EKG clear. "The doctor will tell you that you can be discharged today," Mrs. Caldwell nodded. "I know, but there is something else today. Cody's friends are coming. His friends, Tyler and Brent. They don't know Cody was arrested. They're still planning to buy the house. And today they're coming to visit me." "How do you know?" Mrs. Caldwell showed her phone. There was a message on the screen. It was from Cody's phone. But Cody hadn't sent it. The police had taken it as evidence. "Officer Nguyen showed me the messages on Cody's phone," she said. "Tyler is coming at 2 p.m. today," he wrote. "I'll visit Grandma and assess the situation." My heart started racing. "Mrs. Caldwell, this could be dangerous." "No, I want to see them, because they're accomplices too, and I want to see them all get what they deserve." That afternoon at 1:45 p.m., we left her door ajar. I sat at the nurse's station, but I was close enough to hear everything. At 2 p.m., Tyler and Brent arrived. They were both wearing sports clothes. They didn't have flowers, just their phones. They entered the room. Mrs. Caldwell was lying in bed. Her eyes were closed. She looked like she was sleeping. Tyler whispered, "Is she asleep?" Brent approached the bed. "I think so. Check the monitor." Tyler looked at the monitor. "Her heart rate is low, maybe. She won't last much longer." My blood ran cold. What did he mean? Brent took out his phone. He dialed a number. He put it on speaker. Cody's voice came on. "Brent, what is going on?" "Bro, Grandma's in the hospital. She is asleep." "She looks bad." Cody's voice was worried. But it wasn't real worry. "God, what are the doctors saying?" "I don't know, but the nurses said, critical condition, maybe she'll die in a few days." There was silence. "Did you take care of the paperwork?" Tyler and Brent looked at each other. Tyler spoke. "Cody, your grandmother is dying. Is now the time to talk about paperwork?" "It is the perfect time," Cody said sharply. "Because if she dies and the paperwork isn't ready, everything goes to the state, to probate court, and we won't get anything. But bro, you are in jail." "I'll be out," Cody yelled. His voice echoed over the phone. "My lawyer is working on bail. I'll be out tomorrow. But until then, you guys will handle things." Tyler took a deep breath. "Okay, what do we need to do?" "There is a document at home," Cody said. "A quitclaim deed. We need Grandma's signature. But she won't sign it. So there are other ways." "What other ways?" Cody's voice trailed off, but I still heard him. "Grandma is sedated right now. She is on morphine. Hold her hand. Put her fingers on the document. Press down. The fingerprint will stay. Then you find a notary. You tell them, 'My grandmother wasn't conscious, but she told us beforehand.' The notary will process it." My eyes widened. It was document forgery. Tyler spoke hesitantly. "Cody, is this illegal?" "Everything is illegal," Cody said, "until you get caught, and no one looks at an old woman's fingerprint." Brent looked at his phone. "Bro, I don't know. This is too risky." "Risky?" Cody's voice was angry. "I got arrested. I took the risk. Now it is your turn." Tyler and Brent were silent. Then Tyler said, "Okay, we'll do it. But where are we going to get the paperwork?" "At my grandmother's house," said Cody. "Upstairs in the study, in the blue folder. The key is in my grandmother's purse, at the hospital, in her locker." Tyler walked over to the locker. He opened it. Inside was Mrs. Caldwell's purse. He took the keys. "Got it," he said. "Now go home, get the documents, then hold my grandmother's hand." Mrs. Caldwell sat up in bed. She opened her eyes. Tyler and Brent froze. "Grandma." Tyler stepped back. You are awake, yes, Mrs. Caldwell said in a cold voice. I am awake, and I heard everything. Cody's voice came from the phone. Grandma. Mrs. Caldwell took the phone from Tyler's hand. She looked at Cody. The video call was open on the screen. Cody, you are no longer my grandson. Grandma, stop. Mrs. Caldwell's voice trembled, but she was determined. You tried to kill me. You hid my medication. You starved me. You held my cat hostage. And now you are trying to get your friends to commit fingerprint fraud. I was just— Shut up, Mrs. Caldwell yelled. She raised her voice for the first time. Tyler and Brent started walking toward the door. You stop? Mrs. Caldwell turned to them. You are guilty too, you knew. All of you. Just then, the door opened. Officer Nguyen and Officer Mills entered. Behind them was another man. He was wearing a suit. He had a badge. Detective Lawrence Morrison, Portland Police, said the man. Tyler Sanderson and Brent Kowalski, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud, conspiracy to commit elder abuse, and attempted forgery. You have the right to remain silent, said Detective Morrison. He took out the handcuffs, Brent shouted. Cody told us. That is evidence, Detective Morrison said. Officer Nguyen took the phone from Tyler's hand. The call was still open. Cody appeared on the screen. Detective Morrison looked at the phone. Mr. Caldwell, your statements have been recorded. We will add conspiracy charges to your arrest file. Cody screamed on the screen, Grandma, you wouldn't do this. I'm your grandchild. Mrs. Caldwell took the phone. She looked at Cody one last time. Cody, you are not my grandchild, because I would never use anyone like this. She hung up the phone. Tyler and Brent were handcuffed. They were both crying as they were led out of the room. Tyler turned to Mrs. Caldwell. Mrs. Caldwell, please. I was just trying to help Cody. You were waiting for me to die. You planned to press my fingers onto a document. That is not help. That is a lack of conscience. Tyler bowed his head. He didn't speak. The door closed. Silence fell. Mrs. Caldwell leaned back against the bed again. She was breathing. She was tired. But on her face there was peace. I entered the room. I held her hand. Mrs. Caldwell, you are an incredible person, she smiled. No, Donna Mae, I was just ready. Around 6 p.m., a man came to Mrs. Caldwell's room. He was in his 60s, wearing a suit and glasses. He was carrying a briefcase. Mrs. Caldwell, he said, I am Howard Berkowitz. I am your lawyer. Howard, said Mrs. Caldwell, thank you for coming. Loretta, let me say this first. You are an incredible woman. Most people couldn't do what you did. I had to do it, said Mrs. Caldwell. I know, and now let's talk about the consequences. He opened his briefcase. He took out some documents. Cody Brett Caldwell, he said, is currently facing the following charges: elder abuse, attempted coercion, assault, conspiracy to commit fraud, and attempted forgery. In total, he could face up to 15 years in prison. Mrs. Caldwell said nothing. Howard continued. Tyler Sanderson and Brent Kowalski are also facing conspiracy charges. They could get 3 years each. Amber, asked Mrs. Caldwell, that girl, Cody's girlfriend. Amber Lynn Hughes, Howard said. They've brought her into the investigation too, for Ambien prescription fraud. If they find evidence, she'll be charged too. Mrs. Caldwell shook her head. Howard paused. Then he asked, Loretta, did you tell Daniel and Susan? Mrs. Caldwell's face darkened. Numbered. They're your children. They need to know. They didn't believe me. At Christmas, they believed Cody. They thought I was paranoid. They sent me to therapy. Howard took a deep breath. Loretta, I am going to tell you something. Daniel called me yesterday. Mrs. Caldwell was shocked. What? They said Cody had been arrested. Daniel was in shock. This must be a mistake, he said. Cody's a good kid, he said, but I told him the truth. Daniel was silent. He was silent for a long time. Then he said, I should have believed my mother. Mrs. Caldwell's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't cry. Daniel is coming here tomorrow. He wants to talk to you. No, I don't want to see him. Howard, I am 85 years old. Do you know what the hardest thing for me was? That my children didn't believe me, that they didn't defend me. What Cody did to me was painful. But Daniel and Susan, their silence, that was more painful. I gave them everything, college, weddings, houses, money, but when I needed them most, they weren't there. Howard reached out. He took Mrs. Caldwell's hand. "Loretta, you don't have to forgive them. But maybe you should listen. Maybe they're sorry." Mrs. Caldwell shook her head. "Right now, I just want peace." Howard nodded. "I understand." "Then there is another matter, the house." "I donated the house to the church," said Mrs. Caldwell. "Living trust, remember." "Yes," said Howard. "But you can still live there. You have a life estate." "I know," said Mrs. Caldwell. "But I don't want to live there anymore, because that house isn't my house anymore. Cody defiled it." Howard waited silently. "I'll rent an apartment. A small one bedroom, Mr. Whiskers and me. That is enough, financially. Can you manage?" Mrs. Caldwell smiled. "Harold left me $340,000. I only spent $67,000 of that on Cody. The rest is still in the bank, and Social Security, and Medicare. I am very comfortable." Howard laughed. "Loretta, you are a planner." "I always have been," said Mrs. Caldwell. "Harold taught me, prepare for the worst, hope for the best." Howard gathered his papers. "Okay, I'll file for the court tomorrow. Cody has a bail hearing. The prosecutor will oppose bail because you are a potential victim and Cody is a flight risk." "Fine," said Mrs. Caldwell. "I don't want to see him again." Howard stood up. He walked toward the door, then he turned. "Loretta," he said, "there is one more thing. Your neighbor Gladys. She wants to talk to you too." Mrs. Caldwell's face lit up. "Gladys, she saved me." "Yes," said Howard. "Gladys is coming to visit you tomorrow. I sent her flowers on your behalf." Mrs. Caldwell smiled. "Thank you, Howard. You are a good man." Howard left. I went back into the room. Mrs. Caldwell looked tired, but she was happy. "Donna Mae," she said, "I am being discharged tomorrow, and then a new life will begin." "Yes," I said, "a peaceful life." "I need to get Mr. Whiskers," she said. "He is waiting for me." "You'll get him. We'll go together tomorrow." Mrs. Caldwell smiled. She closed her eyes. She was about to fall asleep. As I stood at the door, she whispered one last thing. "Donna Mae, justice really does exist." And she fell asleep. It was the 15th of May. Spring had come to Portland. The trees were green. The weather was warm. I was standing in front of the Multnomah County Courthouse. Mrs. Caldwell was beside me. She was wearing a suit. Her hair was pulled back. She had a bag in her hand. It contained all the documents. "Are you ready?" I asked. Mrs. Caldwell took a deep breath. We entered the courtroom. It was packed. There were reporters, there were television cameras, because this case had become news. Portland grandmother stands against family fraud, the Oregonian. 85-year-old woman outsmarts grandson's deadly plot. Portland Tribune. Elder abuse case shocks community. Coin 6 News. Mrs. Caldwell sat in the front row. I stood behind her. The door opened. Cody was brought in. He was wearing an orange jumpsuit. His hands were cuffed. His face was pale. He had lost weight. He had been in jail for 3 months. Bail had been denied. Cody saw Mrs. Caldwell. His eyes filled with tears. He opened his mouth. "Grandma." Cody sat down next to his lawyer. The judge entered. Judge Patricia Thornton, 65 years old, a stern-looking woman. Everyone stood. "Court is now in session," Judge Thornton said. "The State of Oregon versus Cody Brett Caldwell. Case number 2025 CR 12847. She sat down. We all sat down. Judge Thornton looked at the file. Then to Cody. "Mr. Caldwell," she said, "you are charged with elder abuse in the 1st degree, attempted coercion, assault in the 3rd degree, conspiracy to commit fraud, attempted forgery, and endangerment." "How do you plead?" Cody's lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, my client pleads not guilty." Judge Thornton raised his eyebrows. "Not guilty, Mr. Caldwell. You have your own voice recordings. There are police reports. There are witnesses." The lawyer spoke. "Your Honor, we dispute the context of this evidence. Mr. Caldwell's statements were misinterpreted." "Misinterpreted." Judge Thornton opened the file. He read the transcript of the audio recording. Judge Thornton continued. "Prosecution, opening statement." The district attorney stood up. Her name was Christina Ramirez. She was in her 40s, a sharp-talking woman. "Your Honor," she said, "this case is not a simple elder abuse case. This is a premeditated attempted robbery." Defendant Cody Caldwell, for 3 months, systematically subjected his grandmother, Loretta Caldwell, to psychological and physical abuse. He withheld her medication. He starved her. He left her to die. The courtroom fell silent. Christina continued. The evidence will show that Mr. Caldwell wanted not just a house, but a life. He was waiting for his grandmother to die, and while he waited, he tried to hasten her death. Cody bowed his head. Christina turned. The state calls Donna Mae Harrison. My heart raced. I stood up. I walked to the witness stand. I took the oath. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Christina approached me. Miss Harrison, what is your profession? I am a cardiac nurse. I work at St. Mary's Hospital. What happened on the 14th of February? I took a deep breath. I began. That night at 2:47 a.m., Mrs. Loretta Caldwell was brought in by ambulance. I sensed something strange. Mrs. Caldwell's digoxin levels were very low. It was as if she hadn't taken her medication. Mrs. Caldwell gave me a phone number. She wanted me to make sure her cat was safe, because her grandson Cody was threatening the cat. Christina showed me a document. Is this the phone record? I spoke with Dr. Patricia Marino. Mr. Whiskers had been dropped off at the boarding house 3 weeks ago. He was safe. What else did Mrs. Caldwell tell you? I looked at Cody. He wasn't looking at me. Mrs. Caldwell, I said, told me Cody was systematically manipulating her to get the house. She said he was hiding her medication, and that morning he tried to force her to sign papers. Was there any evidence? Yes, I said. There was an audio recording on Mrs. Caldwell's phone. Christina turned to the jury. Your Honor, we wish to present this audio recording as evidence. Accepted, Judge Thornton said. The recording played over the speaker. Cody's voice filled the room. You are already dead, grandmother. Stubborn people get into accidents, sign or else. The jurors were shocked. One woman closed her eyes, one man shook his head. Christina turned to me. Miss Harrison, how was the police called that day? Neighbor Mrs. Gladys Hoffman requested a welfare check. I said. She heard Cody screaming. She was concerned. Thank you, Miss Harrison, said Christina. No further questions. Cody's lawyer stood up. Miss Harrison, he said, when you spoke with Mrs. Caldwell, did she seem confused? No, I said clearly. She was perfectly lucid. She spoke clearly. She remembered the details. But she is 85. Mrs. Caldwell's test showed she has a strong memory. A lawyer fell silent. No further questions. The jury took notes. Christina turned to the jury. Your Honor, the prosecution rests. Judge Thornton looked at Cody's lawyer. Defense. The lawyer stood up. Your Honor, the defense calls Cody Caldwell. Cody stepped up to the stand. He took the oath. He sat down. The lawyer asked, Cody, did you love your grandmother? Yes, said Cody. His voice trembled. I love her very much. I was trying to help her. My grandmother was old. She lived alone. I moved in with her. I took care of her. I did the grocery shopping. I cleaned the house. I was just trying to be good. Then why did you hide her medication? I didn't hide it. My grandmother was forgetful. I reminded her every day, but she wouldn't take it. I was worried. Christina stood up. Sustained, Judge Thornton said. Mr. Caldwell, the evidence presented so far contradicts your statement. Cody fell silent. The lawyer continued. Cody, in that voice recording, there are threats. Can you explain? Cody bowed his head. I was frustrated. My grandmother wasn't listening. I said the wrong things, but I wasn't serious. Christina jumped to her feet. Your Honor, may I cross-examine? Proceed, said Judge Thornton. What did you tell your friends Tyler and Brent? You said, we'll turn this house into an Airbnb and make $144,000 a year, didn't you? Cody's face paled. It was just an idea. You planned to put your grandmother's fingerprint on the documents, didn't you? What did you tell Tyler and Brent on the phone? Christina read from a piece of paper. Hold my grandmother's hand. Put her fingers on the documents. Is that your voice? Cody started to cry. I am sorry. I had no money. I had no job, and my grandmother, she wasn't helping me. She gave you $67,000. Christina shouted. Cody stepped down from the stand. He was shaking. He was crying. Judge Thornton turned to the jury. "Jury, you may deliberate." The jury returned. The foreman stood up. "Have you reached a verdict?" Judge Thornton asked. "Yes, Your Honor," said the foreman. "What say you in the case of elder abuse in the first degree? We find the defendant guilty." Cody buried his head in his hands. Judge Thornton shook his head. The court had handed down a 13-year prison sentence. Cody stood up. "Mr. Caldwell," Judge Thornton said coldly, "you systematically abused an elderly woman. You starved her. You withheld her medication, and you waited for her to die. In this court, age is no excuse. Character is no excuse. Justice comes equally to all." The bailiff led Cody away. Mrs. Caldwell sat down. She said nothing, but in her eyes there was peace. When we stepped outside, the sun was shining. Mrs. Caldwell took a deep breath. She was relieved to be safe. We hailed a taxi, but before Mrs. Caldwell got in, she turned to me. "Donna Mae, you believed in me. No one else did. Thank you." I hugged her. "You are a strong woman, Mrs. Caldwell. You saved yourself." She smiled. "Maybe. But you made room for me. You listened to me.